Hey guys, Todd here with the intro to the first video episode of the Edgy&Weird podcast slash disclaimer. So I just want to point out a few things here. This is just a single camera. It's not going to be able to show me, Rob, and a third guest like we wanted. The first episode is actually just me kind of riffing. There's going to be stuff like kind of chaotic. Tent here was open. Room in the back. I had on this shirt showing like some side boob. We're going to make things better as time goes on. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Edgy and Weird podcast. The Edgy Bits, we're going to call it, because it's just me. So I'm actually trying this for the first time to see if it works. I've been watching a lot of late night talk show hosts. I have to say, what's going on, guys? Seems like you are going a little bit crazy. Maybe you've been staring at yourselves in the mirror too long. Trust me. I get it, man. Do it all the time. Why don't we just break it down? Mr. Colbert, I love you, brother. I think you're honest. I think you're genuine. To the best a person can be as far as network goes. You try to get your truths in there. But man, oh man, this whole thing about not saying Trump's name, brother, I gotta say, I am disappointed. What do you think is going to come of not saying Trump's name? You think it's going to change history? Look, you got to get over it, brother. He was president for 4 years. It sucks. Trust me. I know I lived it. And I'm black. And I still say his name. I don't have a talk show. I don't have a fucking platform where millions and millions of people are listening to me. What do you think those millions of people, Trump supporters or not, probably mostly not, what are they going to attach their anger to? A bunch of stars and a P? Look, when you try to omit history, you just leave room for anyone else to put anything else in that history that they want to. People need clarity. They need real thought and reality to go into the things that they're listening to and they're hearing right now, because there's too much in the air that isn't reality. There's too much in the air left up to question, like the former this and what was that, and whose role was this, and whatever catastrophic thing happened. So, man, you may be tired of saying his name, but there's people out there who are just as tired, if not more. They don't have your money. And they don't have the ability to think about terms of T star P. The things he did, they're affecting our lives. They're affecting your life too. But Trump, just say Trump. You know, it's not that hard. If you believe in God, or you're not going to say devil. If you're explaining something bad, own up to it, man. You didn't do anything wrong. Okay? But there are millions of people that listen to you daily. And if you're the type of person who says you want to project some type of truth with your comedy, then just own up to the fact that this is what it is. This is where we are. And there's nothing we can do about it. Hey, let's fucking hold hands and fucking rummage through this shit pile together. But let's be honest and let's have our eyes open about it. That's all I'm saying. Just my stupid ass opinion sitting in my room, not knowing anything about that Seth Meyer. Actually, I really don't have too much to say about you, brother. All I can say is I feel your pain. But there's a broader range of things happening. Also, if you're going to focus on one thing, maybe even for an episode, maybe focus on something equally as tangible, but there's just not so focused on the Republican side of things, you know, and those specific people. I think it's important to realize that people are the ones who are instituting these things, or not responding, or responding wrong, or doing whatever it is they're doing. Before they were reds and before they were blues, they were just people with their own ideals and their ideas of how they wanted things, whether that was good or bad or whatever it is. Okay. And people are in this whole thing with all of those same ideas, with a red or blue tie.
But their ideas or ideals and what makes them tick, what makes them work, that hasn't changed. They're just either putting their agenda on the back burner to further something that's close enough to theirs, or using these platforms for their own agenda, whatever that agenda might be. And you got to understand that that is a red and a blue thing, man. That's a people thing. You can't just focus on one side and ignore the rest of what's been going on here. So I just say open your eyes more. Hopefully that wasn't too ambiguous, because like I said, I really don't have much to say about you. Jimmy, just stop. Just get a backbone. Get something real, something genuine. Being all flappy and stuttering all over the place on TV when you're on the Tonight Show that had Johnny Carson and Jay Leno. Even though he wasn't the greatest human being off the set, the dude knew how to entertain you, brother. You're a nightmare. I see you and it makes my fucking skin crawl. My God. I just see you going, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. No, that's going to ruffle too many feathers. You cowering in a fucking corner, crying, wanting everybody to like you. And guess what, man? That's going to get nobody to actually like you. If you haven't heard that fucking before, who hasn't? And you are literally playing that caricature to a T. Now on to somebody who's not really a late night talk show guy, but he's just as influential, if not more. Hell, he even got a shout out from Mr. Fauci himself. And that is none other than the Joe Rogan. Not gonna be honest, Joe. I put down your podcast for a little bit, man, because I was hearing all this anti-coronavirus, anti-this and all that stuff from you. And I'm thinking, well, this man is obviously going through his own personal struggle. He sees what's going on in the world and it's bothering him. But there's a few things I think you need to consider right now too. Okay. For one, if you are saying that you do not have influence over what people are saying and thinking, you got a shout out from Anthony Fauci. That's White House staff. If that's not showing you that, Joe, you got some pull. People are listening to what you say. I don't know what else would. You got a shout out from the fucking White House, bro. Okay? That means people are listening to you. And you know what that means? Whether you see it or not, people listening to you are listening to you like they're reading the fucking Bible. Okay? That's how people are wired. They don't get their fucking, they get all their learning material from the shit they watch and the shit they see and emulate and the shit that resonates. And that's not from the stuff they're taught and fucking Bible school and all the bullshit their parents tell them. It's the stuff they hear and they see that their friends are doing. The stuff they watch on TV, some fucking cartoons, bro. Their favorite comedian. Or favorite serial killer, depending on who the fuck you are. So yes, people are listening to you, man. And if you don't want to accept that responsibility, that's completely fine. If you want to act like you're just talking into the fucking ether, like nothing's happening, no one's listening to you, that's fine. But people listen to Trump, okay? He became president. You should have to know that people are listening to you. All right? So your words hold weight. And if you are having these struggles on air, you got to understand certain things you say, well, they're going to resonate with people who are just going to flat out listen to you and be like, well, maybe I shouldn't be taking this. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Joe Rogan said it. So there's that. All right. That being said, I backed off because I heard a little bit too much of that. It seemed to me you were bringing these people on who just wanted to tout I'mRight.com. But I realized that now you were having your own struggle, just like all of us. Man. So, I say you had some legitimate points, like accountability for these governors and all this. They're still being paid while people are suffering, being hypocrites. What is that, Newsom? Going to a restaurant, not wearing a mask, that type of thing, while telling everyone they need to wear masks and all that stuff. All of that's true. But you also have to understand, I hate to keep going back to him, but who was president at the time? This was a national issue. This was an international issue. And right from the get-go, it was handled poorly from the top down. So if the top is all frazzled and fucked, what do you think the people at the bottom are going to be doing? Huh? It wasn't supposed to be the governor doing shit. The governor's supposed to handle stuff at state level. National level crises, they need to be handled by the national level people. And from the beginning, we were getting mixed messages from those people. There was no unified voice to tell us exactly what we should be doing. So people, one way were believing one thing and doing one thing, and another way were believing the other thing. So you had half the people wearing masks and half the people not. That was the chaos. It shouldn't even been put on these people. These people, their responsibility was to make sure the things that were being handed down from the top were being put into practice. But there was nothing clear being handed down from the top. Okay. So this back and forth bullshit that we were going through, that's why we're here. That's why you're so frustrated. And that's why it took so long for anything to happen. All right. The pandemic was not just the coronavirus. The pandemic was the White House staff as well. And all of the misinformation that was being handed down from them. They were just as much of a sickness as anything that killed any of these people. The hundreds and the millions of people that died of this. You know, over 500,000 where we are. You know what I'm saying? So, I understand where you're coming from, but we also have to look at, we don't have to, but it would be better for us. It would behoove us to look at the bigger picture ourselves. All right. And realize that even people up there who were looking at the bigger picture, as you say, no one was, it doesn't necessarily mean they can do anything about it. All right. Because you have Ted Cruz in office. You know, you have Marjorie Taylor Greene up there just starting shit. Those are the real problems that we're facing. All right. And Newsom is a byproduct of that. Okay. So now that we got off of that bullshit, what was the next thing I wanted to talk about? Mr. and Mrs. Obama.